The unbreakable tyrant, the glass doors of Voss Industries hissed, shut behind another sobbing woman. Alina Carter, HR director, massaged her temples as the elevator swallowed the latest casualty of Damon Voss's tyranny. Number 11. This year, she muttered, tossing the resignation letter onto her assistant's desk. She lasted 9 days. A new record. Across the city, Meera Patel balanced a tray of matcha lattes for a pretentious client who'd stiffed her on payment again. Her art studio's rent was overdue, and her landlord had begun slipping eviction notices under her door like morbid love letters. Her phone buzzed. A job alert for an executive assistant at Voss Industries? The Damon Voss? Her best friend Jasmine nearly choked on her sushi? The guy who made a VP cry during a Zoom call? Hard pass. Meera scrolled the listing. Salary, 6 figures. Benefits. Dental, vision, sanity not included. She hovered over a PPLY. Rent was due Friday. Interviewed Amira's borrowed blazer itched, and her heels wobbled like newborn giraffe legs. The Voss Tower lobby gleamed like a diamond guillotine. The elevator opened a wrong turn. She collided with a wall of tailored Italian wool. Hot coffee cascaded down a crisp white shirt, over a silver tie, and onto the polished shoes of a man with eyes like frozen steel. Are you always this destructive? Damon Voss peeled the empty cup from his chest. Myra's pulse spiked. Only on days ending with Y. A beat. Then, was that a smirk? Alina gaped from the doorway. No one joked with Damon. No one survived it. Damon flicked coffee off his watch. Follow me. The Lion's Denny's office was a minimalist fortress. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcased the skyline. A single framed photo of a sailing yacht hinted at a life outside work. Why do you want this job? Damon leaned back, assessing her like a flawed stock portfolio. Honestly, rent money. Meera shrugged. But I'm also freakishly good at fixing messes. Like your coffee-stained shirt. His eyebrow arched. You'd last a week. Try me. A pause. Then he slid a file toward her. The Kensington account. A disaster. Fix it by noon. Meera opened it. Contracts were misfiled. Numbers mismatched. Her artist's eye caught inconsistencies instantly. Damon watched her work intrigued. For the first time in years, someone didn't cower. At 11:58 a.m., she slapped the file on his desk. Fixed. Also, Kensington's hiding $2 million in liabilities. Page 12. Damon stilled. No one caught what he missed. Start Monday, he said. Meera grinned. Wear a stain-proof shirt. Meera's first official day at Voss Industries began with a minor disaster. She arrived 30 minutes early, determined to prove herself, only to realize she'd forgotten her security badge. The front desk attendant, a stern woman with a permanent frown, refused to let her upstairs without it. Look, I work here now, Meera argued, tapping her freshly printed employee contract against the desk. Badge or no entry, the woman said, unmoved. Meera groaned. She was about to text Alina when the elevator doors slid open and Damon Voss himself stepped out. Dressed in another immaculate suit, his sharp gaze landing on her immediately. Problem? He asked, voice cool. Meera held up her badgeless lanyard. I left this at home, apparently. I'm a security risk now. A flicker of something passed over his face, amusement, annoyance, before he turned to the receptionist. She's with me. The woman paled. Of course, Mr. Voss. Meera hurried into the elevator beside him, the doors closing with a soft ding. The confined space made her hyper-aware of him, the crisp scent of his cologne, the way his tailored sleeves hugged his forearms. You're late, he said. I was here early, she corrected. Just temporarily detained. Excuses are inefficiency in disguise. She rolled her eyes. Noted, next time I'll scale the building. The corner of his mouth twitched. The office gauntlet Meera's desk sat directly outside Damon's office. A sleek, modern setup with 3 monitors, a phone with too many buttons, and a stack of files labeled urgent in bold red. Alina appeared, looking relieved. You survived the first hurdle. Congratulations. How bad is this really going to be? Meera asked. Alina handed her a thick binder titled Damon Voss, Protocols and Preferences. Page 12 outlines his coffee requirements. Page 43 details how to position his desk plants for optimal productivity. Mira flipped through it. This man needs therapy, not an assistant. Tell him that, I dare you. The CFOs, Bet Lucas Grant, Damon's sharp-tongued CFO, strolled over during lunch, eyeing Myra like she was a lab experiment. Place your bets, people, he announced to the nearby analysts. How long before she quits? Mira sipped her iced coffee. Aren't you a little old for lunchroom bullying? Lucas smirked. A week, tops. She leaned forward. How about this? If I last a month, you donate 10 grand to the arts charity of my choice. He scoffed. And if you quit, I'll personally wash your car. By hand, Lucas's grin widened. Deal. Damon's office door opened. Myra, inside. Now, she saluted Lucas. Watch and learn. The impossible task. Damon dropped a folder in front of her. The Kensington revisions. They need to be finalized by 5 p.m. She flipped it open. This is 100 pages of legal jargon, and I'm not a lawyer. You're my assistant. Figure it out. Mira exhaled. Fine, but I'm billing you for the espresso I'll need to survive this. She expected a reprimand. Instead, Damon paused. You don't ask for things here. You execute. She met his gaze. Then consider this me executing my need for caffeine. A beat, and fine. Order whatever you want. Mira blinked. Was that flexibility? The late-night revelation, by 8 p.m., the office had emptied. Damon was still in his office, and Mira was. Buried in contracts, her eyes burning from screen fatigue. She stretched, rolling her neck, when she noticed Damon watching her from his doorway. You're still here, he said. You told me to finish this. I didn't expect you to actually do it, she smirked. I'm full of surprises. He walked over, scanning her work. His brows lifted slightly. You flagged the arbitration clause? It's a loophole. Kensington could screw us if things go south. Damon studied her. You've never worked in corporate law? Nope, but I've signed enough shady gallery contracts to smell BS. Pause, then order dinner. We're not done. Yet, the almost moment takeout arrived spicy Thai for her, a ridiculously plain salad for him. You eat like a sad rabbit, Mira said, stealing a cucumber from his plate. Damon didn't stop her. Discipline is the foundation of success. So is flavor. Exhaled, almost a laugh. Almost. They worked in silence until Mira's eyes glazed over. She stood, shaking out her legs, and absent-mindedly swayed to the jazz playing softly from her phone. Damon looked up. What are you doing, dancing? It keeps me awake. You're ridiculous. You're uptight. She expected a glare. Did he? Leaned back in his chair, watching her with an unreadable expression. The air between them shifted. Mira stopped mid-sway. Damon's gaze dropped to her lips, just for a second, before he stood abruptly. Go home, he said, voice rough. We'll finish tomorrow. She should have left. Instead, she stepped closer. Why do you do that? Do what? Push people away the second they get close. His jaw tightened. You don't know me. I'd like to. A charged silence. Then his phone rang. The spell broke. Damon turned away. Good night, Mira. Mira arrived at work the next morning to find the office buzzing. Whispers followed her as she walked to her desk. Lena intercepted her, gripping her arm. You were here past midnight with Damon? She hissed. Mira blinked. We were working. Why? Elena's eyes darted toward the break room, where a group of assistants were huddled over their phones. Because this is trending. She shoved her phone at Mira. A blurry photo of her and Damon in his office last night, her mid-dance. Him watching her with an intensity that looked anything but professional. The caption, since when does the Ice King thaw? Hashtag office romance. Hashtag Voss. Industries. Myra's stomach dropped. The boardroom blow-up. Damon's office door slammed open. He strode out, jaw clenched, phone in hand. My office now, I followed. Bracing herself. Inside, he turned, his voice dangerously calm. Care to explain? Mira crossed her arms. It's just gossip. Ignore it, ignore it. His fist hit the desk. This undermines my authority. It makes us both look human. She shot back. God forbid. His eyes darkened. You don't understand the stakes? Then explain them to me. A tense silence. Then Mr. Voss. Lucas's voice cut in from the doorway. Your brother's here. Damon went rigid. The prodigal brother Nathaniel Nate Voss. Looked like Damon's shadow, same sharp features, but warmer, with a disarming grin. Missed you too, big brother, Nate said, clapping Damon on the shoulder. Damon didn't return the gesture. Nate's gaze slid to Mira. And you must be the woman who survived a week with the tyrant. Damon stepped between them. State your business. Nate tossed a folder on the desk. A merger proposal. Startup's AI tech could double Voss's valuation. Myra peeked at the documents. The numbers were solid to solid. Damon didn't even glance at them. No. Nate's smile faded. You haven't even... I said no. Mira frowned. Damon, at least look at it. The room froze. Damon turned slowly. Excuse me. Ish. Held her ground? It's a good deal. You're letting personal issues cloud your judgment. A muscle ticked in his jaw. Get out, Nate whistled. Damn, she does talk back. Both of you out. The rival's offer. Mira was still fuming when Sophia Ruiz cornered her in the lobby. Sophia, CEO of a rival firm, was elegance personified, tailored pantsuit, razor-sharp bob, and a smile like a stiletto. Mira Patel, she purred. I've heard so much about you. Mira eyed her. From who? The office gossip blog. Sophia laughed. From Lucas. He says you're the only one Damon listens to. She leaned in. I'd pay triple your salary to steal you. Myra hesitated. Sophia pressed a card into her hand. Think about it. Talent like yours shouldn't be wasted on a man who'll never appreciate it. The breaking point, Damon found Mira on the rooftop at sunset. You're considering Sophia's offer, he said flatly. She didn't turn. Would you blame me? He stood beside her, gripping the railing. Nate and I, it's complicated. So uncomplicated. He exhaled sharply. He betrayed me. Took company secrets. Left when we needed him most. Mira faced him. Now he's trying to make amends. Why can't you forgive him? 'Cause trust is a luxury I can't afford. That's bullshit. Her voice cracked. You push everyone away before they can leave you. But guess what? You're alone because of it. Damon's mask slipped just for a second, revealing something raw beneath. Myra stepped closer. Let someone in. Just once. His hand twitched toward hers, then his phone buzzed. A board alert. He stepped back, walls slamming up again.
We're done here.
The storm hit without warning. 1 minute Mira was packing up her desk, still fuming from her rooftop argument with Damon. The next, the sky split open, rain hammering the windows like bullets. Wind howling through the steel beams of Voss Tower. The power flickered and died. Emergency lights bathed the office in an eerie glow as Damon emerged from his office, silhouetted against the floor-to-ceiling windows. The generator's down, he said tersely. We're stuck until security can get the backup. Online, Myra groaned. Of course we are. A beat of silence. Then there's whiskey in my desk. The lockdown, they sat on opposite ends of Damon's leather couch, glasses in hand. The only light coming from the city below and the occasional flash of lightning, Mira swirled her drink. So, are we going to talk about it? Damon's jaw tightened. No. Great. Then I will. She took a sip, the alcohol burning down her throat. Why did you really say no to Nate's deal? He stared into his glass. It's not just the betrayal, it's the pattern. She waited. Damon exhaled. Our father pitted us against each other. Whoever won got control of the company. Nate chose to walk away. I chose to stay and fight. His thumb traced the rim of his glass. And now he waltzes back in like nothing happened. Mira studied him, the tension in his shoulders, the way his voice roughened on father. You're not mad at him, she realized. You're hurt. Damon's grip tightened on his glass. Don't psychoanalyze me. Too late. She shifted closer. You're scared if you forgive him, he'll leave again. A flash of lightning illuminated the raw look in his eyes. Everyone leaves, he said quietly. The almost kiss. The whiskey loosened something between them. Damon's usual rigid posture softened. Mira's laughter came easier. At some point, she kicked off her heels, tucking her feet under her. You know, for a billionaire, you have terrible taste in whiskey. Damon smirked. Says the woman who drinks boxed wine. Boxed wine is efficient. He chuckled, real unfiltered sound that made her chest tighten. Silence settled. The storm raged. Outside, Mira traced the edge of her glass. Why did you hire me? Damon stilled. You weren't afraid of me. She met his gaze. I'm still not. Something electric crackled between them. Damon's eyes dropped to her lips. Then his phone buzzed on the desk. They jerked apart. Damon stood abruptly. That'll be security. Power should be back soon. Mira swallowed her disappointment. Right? The bombshell, the lights flickered on just as Nate's name flashed on Damon's phone. He answered on speaker.
What?
Nate's voice was uncharacteristically grim. You need to see this. A file popped up on Damon's laptop, a decades-old contract between Voss Industries and Ruiz Corp. Myra frowned. What am I looking at? Damon's face went pale. A non-compete clause. My father signed it the year before he died. Date's voice crackled through. Sophia's grandfather. She can prove we violated it. She can sue for control of half the company. Myra's stomach dropped. That's why she tried to poach me. She wanted inside information. Damon's hands clenched. And I just handed her leverage by letting you walk out angry. The unspoken truth hung between them. This is my fault. The choice Mira stood. We fix this. Together. Damon looked up at her, vulnerability bleeding through his usual armor. Would you help me? She held his gaze. Because you're not the monster you pretend to be. A charged silence. Then Damon reached for her hand. The door burst open. Lucas stood there. Drenched from the rain, eyes widening at the scene. Myra yanked her hand back. Damon's mask snapped into place. Report. Lucas hesitated. Sophia's moving fast. She's called an emergency board meeting for tomorrow.
Iris mind raised.
We need proof she's manipulating this. Damon's phone buzzed again, a message from Sophia. Tick-tock, Damon. Let's talk terms. Alone. Mira's blood ran cold. Damon stood, his voice steel. And then we play her game. The emergency board meeting was set for noon. Myra paced Damon's office, her heels clicking against the marble floor. Sophia's not just after the company. She wants to humiliate you. Damon stood by the window, silhouetted against the stormy skyline. I know. She stopped. Then why are you smiling? He turned, and the look in his eyes sent a shiver down her spine. Not fear, but anticipation. Because we're going to beat her at her own game. The gambit. Myra's hands trembled as she adjusted the hidden recorder in her blazer. Remind me why I have to be the one to do this? Damon stepped closer, his fingers brushing hers as he double-checked the device. Because she never suspect. You. His voice dropped. And because I trust you. The words hung between them, heavier than any contract. Mira inhaled sharply. If this goes wrong, it won't. He cupped her face, his thumb tracing her cheekbone. You don't fail. Then he was gone, leaving her with the ghost of his touch and a racing heart. The trap. Sophia's office was all cold elegance, just like the woman herself. She lounged behind her desk, smirking as Mira entered. Here to negotiate your surrender? Mira forced a smile. Here to negotiate yours. She slid a folder across the desk. Damon's offer. Sophia opened a tan froze. Inside was a single sheet of paper. I know about the forged signature. Her composure cracked. You have no proof. Mira tapped her blazer. I do now. Sophia lunged for her phone just as the door burst open. The confrontation. Damon strode in, flanked by the board members and a stone-faced Nate. It's over, Sophia, Nate said, tossing a file onto her desk. Grandfather's real contract. No non-compete clause. It's just your family's fraud. Sophia's face twisted. You'll never prove. We already did. Mira hit play on the recorder. Sophia's voice filled the room. My grandfather forged that document, and I'll finish what he started. The board erupted. Sophia collapsed into her chair, her empire crumbling around her. The choice back at Voss Tower, the board waited in tense silence as Damon stood before them. "We've uncovered the truth," he said, "but there's one more change to announce." Mira held her breath. Damon turned to her. "Effective immediately, Mira Patel is promoted to Vice President of Strategic Operations." Gasps filled the room. Lucas choked on his coffee. "VP, she spilled coffee on you 3 weeks ago?" Damon didn't smile, but his eyes burned. "She also saved this company? Any objections?" The board stayed silent. The kiss later, on the rooftop where they'd first argued, Damon finally let his walls crumble. "You were right," he murmured, stepping closer. "About everything." Mira's pulse roared in her ears. "Even the part where you're secretly a softie." A low laugh. "Especially that part." Then his hands were in her hair, pulling her in. And the world narrowed to the heat of his mouth on hers, fierce, possessive, free when they broke apart. Nate's voice crackled over Damon's earpiece. "Bro, the entire trading floor just saw that on the security feed." Damon didn't let go. Let them watch. The epilogue 1 year later, the gossip blogs had a new headline. Voss's Industries' reclusive CEO steps down to become chairman while his wife runs the company. The photo showed Mira at her new desk, Damon leaning over her shoulder, his lips brushing her ear as she laughed, and on the wall behind them, framed beside her first abstract painting, hung a single, coffee-stained resignation letter. "I quit. Just kidding. You're stuck with me. Mira Voss."